Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Getting Good at Rocket League. So in today's episode we're going to be exploring how to make good shots in Rocket League and how to give our shots power. And we will be implementing all of these concepts and all of these techniques into our games and seeing how it fares. So, what gives a shot power? There are two main ways a shot gains power. The first one is by driving directly into the ball with speed. And the second one is by flipping into the ball. So let's see some techniques that utilize these two concepts in free play and how you can implement it into your games. So we know what gives a shot power is through flips or going into the ball with speed. So one of the most basic shot attempts that one can make is just by running into the ball with high speeds. So you know your shot has power when you see that blue trail behind the ball, right? Where you can see, it depends on the team you are, but when you have the trail behind the ball, it means your ball is going at a pretty good speed, right? So another way that you can, utilize this is when the ball is running there, right? Hitting it from the side. It's going to be a very useful technique that one can master. Right, trying to find the perfect angle to hit the ball from and just shooting it from the net. Right, so you can practice this in the range in a variety of ways. You can just make the ball go in one direction, try to find an angle to shoot it, and drive into it. Right, so that's for the basic shot. And I would like to focus our attention onto a different kind of shot attempt, right? And it's very kind of like situational, and it's when the ball starts bouncing. Right, so this is a very simple shot technique that is really just gonna take your shot game to another level. So what you want to do is, like, let's say you're driving, right? You jump up, flip in front, right? Depending on where the ball is, right? So let's say the ball is jumping, right? You want to jump, flip into it, right? If you have enough speed in your when it's going up, you could generate a lot of power, right? And so that's a way to get, in case the ball is jumping and you can't really hit it off the ground like you typically will, right? So these are two of the most basic shot techniques that one can utilize to create power and take some very good shots. So a thing that branches off of the simple front flip from the jump is by jumping, going. So the front flip jump is basically jumping, going back, front flipping. So how you can change this is when you front flip, go back, you do a arrow, right? And so what is this arrow for? So let's say and then you front flip like that. You're giving like a direction on where you're hitting the ball, right? So let's say, yes, you're hitting it from the side. If done correctly, yeah. So instead of hitting it straight up, you're trying to hit it into a direction, right? And it depends on where you're arrowing, right? So if you're arrowing right, your ball will go left. Right, and there's like also a lot of different variations from it. If the ball is at your left, you could just jump, do a corner flip, all of that. Just trying to change it up based on where the ball's relative position to you is just a good way to practice it. Right, and I think utilizing these kind of techniques in games can really make you able to take shots from any angle. Right, and so another thing I want to take note of is just going by the side and doing a side flip into the ball, right, when you're at a very tight angle. Let's say the ball is up right in their net, but you're from this angle, so you could just jump, side flip into it, right? That was a very good shot technique, which is you're gonna see that in one of the games that I'm gonna be showing. Right, so the final thing that I want to take note of, you guys, is just the dribble, right? So just the flick, right? You start off with a dribble on top of your car, and then you just want to kind of flick into it, right? And so this shot is actually it doesn't have to be a shot, it's just very useful in general. Let's say someone's just like trying to cut you, right? And then you could just flick, get the ball some height, and so that they can't really defense and get the ball since it's right over their heads, right? Also timing the flick is also very important. Trying to give power on the flick is something I'm going to do in another video, but I'm just showing you that's also another way that you could take shots in Rocket League. I'm not going to go into aerial shots yet, like pinches or anything more of the advanced shots, because first of all, I don't have the skill, and second of all, like, you don't really need that in your games. It's a good to have, but like, really, you're just gonna outclass all of your opponents if you do that. So this is all about shots, and let's get into some of our games and see how these shots go.
What time is it now?